So thank you very much for your time, Mr. Foreign Minister. It's a big honor that again you agreed to meet with us. Thank you. If I can please start with first question. I know it's the first day of the United Nations General Assembly, but maybe have you observed any difference so far from what happened last year? For example, the people, speeches, anything you think is different?
I think the focus is still on the war, which has to do with the war in Russia and Ukraine. But of course, also this year, next to the climate change, the focus and talks is about uh, uh, food security, energy security, and other things.
Thank you. And unfortunately, we have not heard yet your speech. We are looking forward to that. But could you please tell me what's Iraq's mission here during this General Assembly? Of course, if you can say something about your speech, that would be great. If
The
not,
head of the delegation is my prime minister, and he's going to give the speech. The speech will cover the, let's say, the program of the Iraqi government and the current situation in Iraq. But also, he's going to deal with the, let's say, Iraqi vision to the security in the region and to the world. And these are the main topics that he's going to deal with.
thank you. And would you mind to scoop it a bit? Amazing. A little bit more closer to me. I will. Thank you. Don't worry. We will cut. And if I can now move to relations between Russia and Iraq, what are the developments? What do you think? Has anything changed over the past couple of months?
Of course, the Russian-Iraqi relationship is going back to an old time, and it was always good. But the war in Ukraine affected the whole political environment because it is well known there are sanctions against Russia. But the ties is still strong, and there is a plan for the Iraqi prime minister to visit Moscow.
You touched upon two very interesting points. If I can ask you, please, when do you see the Prime Minister visiting Moscow?
It will be this year, and within a few months, we are going to arrange a visit, so it will be soon.
Thank you. And you also mentioned the Western sanctions. Would you be able to elaborate a little bit in what ways it's most affecting the relations?
Now, of course, there was trade relationship with Russia, and there are Russian companies working in Iraq, and of course, they must be paid. So, in this field, uh, our banks or our government has got some difficulties to pay because of the sanction. So that creates a kind of problem between, let's say, Russia needs to be paid, and it is their own money. But we cannot pay it not because we lack of the money, but because of the sanctions.
Are there any ways how to sort of go around legally through it?
We are searching for ways, of course, legal ways, and I'm going to meet His Excellency Minister Lavrov in the next few days.
Amazing. And has it also impacted? How is the military cooperation with Russia? Are there any changes or new projects?
We don't have, in fact, military cooperation with Russia, but of course, in the past, most of the weapons which has been used by the Iraqi army was Russian. So now and then we need to repair these weapons, and we need some expertise. But because of sanction in, we cannot do it. But this has to do with the past, actually, military cooperation.
So again, there would be problem with payments to the experts who would be
Yeah,
advising.
that's within the whole payment. Within the whole payment, we have got some problem. Not we, the Iraqi government, but it has to do with the international sanctions or the sanction which has been used by Western countries.
Also, Luke Oil is considering investing in West Guarna 2 gas field. Has this been affected anyhow?
I think that affects also the payment to the gas to the oil company. That's true. That's right.
Thank you, Mr. Foreign Minister. And also today, U.S. Secretary Blinken has extended invitation to your Prime Minister to Washington, D.C. Have there been already any plans to work out this meeting?
No, today he extended this invitation, so that means we are going to work on it, and I hope that my prime minister can make it this year.
For example, during the GA or
No, no, not now. We are talking about a visit to Washington and to the White House, so that means we must go back and develop it and develop the plan and discuss it with the American side.
understandable. Thank you. And now, if I can also ask you one question. Sorry, Mr. Prime Minister. Uh, one more page. Uh, could you also mention something about your relations with Iran? How has it been developing? Also, the security agreement has the armed forces.
No, with Iran, of course, their relationship is very strong. And as for the security agreement, I was a few days ago in Tehran, and we had a lengthy discussion with both His Excellency the President of the country, but also with the Foreign Minister. And thanks God, we reached an understanding, and we told them that the Iraqi side is committed to the agreement, and we implemented in the pact in reality. So we are also expecting the Iranian side to be also committed to the agreement, and that means not talking about violence and not using violence or attacks against Iraqi Kurdistan.
But has there been any, for example, discussions today? Because if I'm not mistaken, the deadline was September 19. Is
Yes.
that correct?
No, yesterday evening I had a lengthy discussion with the Iranian foreign minister here once again. So it's going well.
Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you.
And if I can also ask, there has been a recent swap of prisoners between the United States and Iran. You have good relations with both of the countries. Do you think it's going to have an impact on the region? You know, their relations have been really bad for a long time, and now finally we sort of got some kind of positive sign.
I think this was part of the basis of the tension between Tehran and Washington. So now it has been solved. I mean, the American who were in prison, they have been released, but also the money, the Iranian money, which was in the banks in South Korea, has been also released. So this is a good step towards starting a new stage of discussion and negotiation. I hope they will continue their negotiation so that there will not be tension between these two countries because, in fact, the conflict between both countries affected the entire region, but affected directly the political and security situation in Iraq.
Yes, you know well both countries. Would Iraq consider, for example, help them with some kind of mediation?
I am not talking about mediation, but I listen to both sides sometimes, and both sides they are discussing matters with me.
Thank you. And if I can, last question. When do you think the oil could be resumed from the Kurdistan
I
fields?
don't know. This is an issue which has to do with once again talks between Baghdad and Ankara. The talks are the discussion with between both sides is continuing, and I'm going to see the Turkish foreign minister. Once again, I will raise this question, but still, Turkish position is well known. They are until now refusing to allow the oil from Kurdistan to be exported through the pipeline, but they are making a linkage between the case which has to do with the Iraqi side, I mean Ministry of Oil, about that the pipeline has been used without being permitted by the Iraqi authority, in this case by Ministry of Oil. So we will see how the negotiation will continue, and I hope that we will reach some results in this field.
Thank you. And if I can, last question, what are you looking forward to the most during this trip to United Nations General Assembly? Is there anything it will bring you the biggest pleasure? What it is?
The biggest pleasure it will be when people here will talk about peace, especially in between Russia and Ukraine, because that's what we need and that's what the world needs. In fact, peace is the word that I am looking for.
Thank you so much,
Thank you.
Mr. Foreign
Bye
Minister.
bye.
Great pleasure. Thank
Bye
you.
bye.
Thank you very much. Thank you for your time. Really nice. Good luck.
Thank you.